Hi everyone, Tony Tonkin here from Child Protection Party. Just a news item and a news update which I thought people would be interested in, and that relates to the increase in suspected child abuse to the Child Protection Department over the last 12 months. So there's been a 40% increase, which amounts to around 40,000 new notifications over the last financial year. And I guess the concern for us is the number of notifications being made is probably not a major concern. That notifications need to be made is important where children are concerned and kids are being abused. So I guess it's one thing to celebrate the fact that our community has become more and more aware of child abuse and are making more and more notifications. The issue for us remains around the effectiveness of the department's work in making sure that there are therapeutic interventions that prevent these children from being removed. So as we become more and more aware of the issues around child abuse, we should also be more and more aware of the interventions that are required in order to help families and parents to better understand their own parenting and better understand perhaps how to manage and deal with children that are distressed, particularly adolescent children. So it is interesting to note in this report, which came out in the Advertiser today, that we know that doctors and teachers and social workers and other people are mandated reporting, and they obviously seem to be doing their job. But the report shows that 14,500 calls from the general public to the Child Abuse Report Line went unanswered in 2019-20. So there's a group of people that feel the need to report issues around child abuse, but they are not having their calls responded to because the department simply don't seem to have the numbers, even though they do say that they've increased the numbers of people that are manning the phones and that they will call back within an hour or 2 hours if they're unable to get to the call at that time. I see that as a positive step, no criticism offered there. In periods of high volume, the department encourages callers to stay on the line, and if they care to opt out, they will call them back later. Rachel Sanderson herself says that the state government was committed to continuing to improve outcomes for our most vulnerable children and young people. Look, the fact that there are more and more people making reports around kids that are at risk is the concern is that the department may not be responding appropriately around those particular issues. Now, we know that the government do not have the services required in order to meet the demand that they're obviously indicating here that occurs when thousands and thousands of parents are requiring help in order to help them deal with the situations that they encounter that are causing the department to become notified. And some of those issues are clearly around domestic violence, mental well-being, and drug use. And that if the government is unable to respond around those issues and in order to keep kids safe, then clearly those notifications are going to improve. So why are the notifications improving, or increasing, I should say? Well, the notifications are increasing because the services are not available. If we had services that were delivering around mental health for parents, where drug use, homelessness, domestic violence, and so on. If we had services that were delivering around, the numbers would not be increasing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to necessarily see that what the problem is here, and the problem is that the government is not responding as it should respond in order to keep these numbers down. So it is a concern that the numbers are increasing because it is evident that the government is doing nothing to address the problem. When the day arrives and they can tell us that these numbers are diminishing, then we'll know that they're doing something about it. As long as these numbers continue to be high and increasing at the rate that they are, it is just an indication that the government's failing. So there's no need to celebrate any of this, Rachel, or anybody else who works for the department. The simple fact is that you're failing, and you're failing miserably. Thanks for watching this video. Take care and be safe.